Win tickets to see the Titans take on the Cowboys tonight on News Channel 5 at 10.
I'm Bob Schieffer. The Lebanese guerrilla leader says he's ready for all-out war, and Israel appears ready for just that unless the guerrillas release the Israeli soldiers whose kidnapping set off this worsening crisis. That's where we start tonight. Then we'll have these stories.
What's happening with Americans trapped in Lebanon? I'm Cynthia Bowers with the anxious wait for thousands of families here at home.
I'm Armin Katayan. A fatal flaw in Boston's Big Dig tunnel project. Did it have to happen? CBS News investigates.
This is the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
Good evening. Israel's warships blockaded Lebanon by sea. Its bombers attacked the Beirut airport and its road links to the outside world. But the Hezbollah guerrillas refused again today to release the Israeli soldiers whose kidnapping set off this crisis. Here is the story at this hour. The leader of Hezbollah, Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah, escaped when the Israelis bombed his headquarters and said he is ready for all-out war. The death toll in 3 days of fighting is now more than 70. President Bush urged Israel to hold down civilian casualties but rejected Lebanon's call for a ceasefire, and the White House said he would not make military decisions for Israel. Our chief foreign correspondent, Lara Logan, is in the northern Israeli city of Haifa tonight. Elizabeth Palmer is in Beirut. We go first to her. Elizabeth.
Good evening. Yes, we're 3 days into this conflict now, and Israel's military might has Lebanon in a vice. Fighter planes streaked through the skies, dropping bombs on roads and bridges, including the main highway to Syria, which Israel believes is an arms supply route for Hezbollah. Offshore, Israel's naval blockade went on the offensive, firing missiles into Beirut and destroying the home and office of Hezbollah's leader. But if they'd hoped to kill him, they missed. Shortly afterwards, Hassan Nasrallah was on TV saying, "Today's battle is no longer about two prisoners. You wanted an open war? We're ready for it." His supporters watched the speech in a school where they took shelter from the bombing. They were delighted with his call to arms, which also predicted the Israeli warship that tried to kill him would sink. Israel's military confirmed tonight that an unmanned aircraft equipped with explosives did attack their ship, a weapon believed to be new in Hezbollah's arsenal. The day began with Israel bombing Beirut's international airport again, although the national airline managed to fly its passenger jets out to safety between strikes. The airport fuel depot has now been burning for 24 hours. It's a highly visible reminder to all Lebanese that Hezbollah is no longer just a problem for Israel across the border. It's a problem for everyone in this country, too. And every explosion that rocks Lebanon underscores that message. Israel wants the Lebanese government to help eliminate Hezbollah and destroy its weapons. But this is a fragile country, and politicians here fear this aggressive approach will backfire. Musba al-Adab is a member of parliament.
Having civilian casualties, having infrastructure hit, this is something that would not create a reaction amongst Lebanese to pressurize Hezbollah. If the targets were military, it would have been a different story.
It's quiet here tonight now, but Beirut is braced for another night of bombing. And the real fear is that if Hezbollah continues to attack northern Israel, Israel is going to take the fight to Hezbollah's backers, that is, to Syria and Iran. Bob?
Now, Elizabeth, there are a lot of Americans there who basically are trapped there. What's going to happen to them?
The State Department is making plans to evacuate the diplomats, but as for the 25,000 American citizens, so far nothing. The situation's being monitored. They're very worried tonight and hoping that somebody will come up with a solution to get them out.
All right. Well, thank you, Elizabeth. The coastal city of Haifa is the largest population center in Israel to be hit by a rocket during the current fighting, and for a time today, the residents there were ordered to bomb shelters. That is where Lara Logan is tonight. Lara?
Good evening, Bob. Well, Hezbollah had threatened further attacks on Haifa if Israel escalated their campaign inside Lebanon. And after today, people here are bracing for the worst, while just to the north of here, the Hezbollah bombardment continued unabated. This was the scene just moments after Hezbollah guerrillas struck yet again in one of northern Israel's most battered towns. 4 rockets have just hit here in downtown Nahariya. There's shattered glass and shrapnel all over. Israeli security forces are at the scene. There are very few people out on the streets. Most are inside in bunkers, and others have fled these towns as Hezbollah has bombarded Israel in the worst barrage in more than a decade. More than 300 short-range rockets have rained down on 20 Israeli towns since Hezbollah fighters captured 2 Israeli soldiers, sparking this crisis. A fact brought home to Israelis watching as a television reporter on their main channel was almost killed by a rocket during a live broadcast from the worst-hit town of Safed. In the town center nearby, these men prayed for God's protection, but echoed support across Israel for the campaign against Hezbollah.
Their purpose is to kill us, and the only way that we could provide it is to kill them, and it's all of our right to do it, and that's what we accept from our country to do.
So far, 150 Israelis have been wounded in the rocket attacks, and 4 killed, angering many residents here in the north. This man complained the Israeli government doesn't do enough to protect them and said they should finish off Hezbollah. That certainly seems to be part of Israel's strategy, seen in these pictures released by the Israeli army as they tightened the air, sea and land blockade of Lebanon and intensified airstrikes, hitting the home of Hezbollah's leader in Beirut, blowing up fuel tankers and tearing through roads, leaving massive craters in their wake. While Israel focused on Hezbollah, Palestinian militants continued attacks in the south, firing rockets into the town of Sderot. And on the streets of Gaza, thousands of Palestinians rallied in support of Hezbollah, both at war with Israel, both still holding Israeli soldiers. Israel's Deputy Prime Minister Shimon Peres told me today that Israel will only stop their campaign if 3 conditions are met. Hezbollah must be forced to withdraw all its forces from South Lebanon. They must destroy all of their weapons, and the captured Israeli soldiers must be returned to Israel unharmed. Bob?
Lara, we have a report here that some kind of a drone airplane hit one of the Israeli ships that's blockading Lebanon. Do you have any information on that?
Well, the Israeli army spokesman will not confirm whether it was a drone or a rocket or a missile at this point. It was heavily damaged, and there have been also unconfirmed reports. The army says they cannot confirm an Al Jazeera report that 4 Israeli soldiers are missing from that ship, Bob.
Okay, well, thanks, Lara. President Bush arrived in St. Petersburg, Russia today for a long-scheduled summit with economic allies, but economic matters were shoved aside by the Middle East crisis. President and Mrs. Bush were greeted by Russian President Vladimir Putin. The 2 presidents had dinner tonight. Our chief White House correspondent Jim Axelrod is also there. Jim, earlier today, the president turned down Lebanon's call for a ceasefire. He said he would just urge Israel not to limit civilian casualties, but the White House then said the president was not going to make military decisions for Israel. Why did he take that line?
Well, the president wanted very much to assure Lebanon that he stood with them, but at the same time, he needs to also assure Israel that, he's with them. He's walking this diplomatic tightrope. He made 3 phone calls from Air Force One to 3 Arab moderates, King Abdullah of Jordan, President Mubarak of Egypt, and the new prime minister of Lebanon, essentially thanking them for distancing themselves from Hezbollah, but making it very clear that he would not tell Israel how to conduct its military operations. He could ask them for restraint. He would not tell them how to conduct its military business, Bob.
Okay, well, thanks, Jim. For some perspective on all of this, we turn now to one of the country's leading experts on the region, the former U.S. ambassador to Israel, Martin Indyk, now at the Saban Center at the Brookings Institution in Washington. Well, this seems to be growing beyond what it was in the beginning. Crisis started when 2 Israeli soldiers were kidnapped. Is there something larger going on here now?
Iran has supplied missiles, and if the missiles are fired, then Iran is really going to be the focus of Israel's attention as well. So, I think there's a larger regional picture which this fits into, which makes it all the more dangerous.
Is there anything really that the United States can do now, Mr. Ambassador?
I'm afraid until Hezbollah decides that it's not worth it for them to continue, or until the Lebanese people and Lebanese government say to Hezbollah, listen, this is not our war and we're paying much too high a price for this, it's going to be very hard for the United States to use the one card that it has, which is its ability to influence Israel. When Hezbollah cries uncle, I think then the United States can get Israel to stop and to withdraw. But until then, I'm afraid it's just going to get worse.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. The Middle East crisis is sending shockwaves through markets around the world. The price of oil closed above $77 a barrel today for the first time ever. And on Wall Street, the Dow lost more than 100 points for the week. The Dow has fallen more than 3% and has now given up almost all its gains for the year. Next on the CBS Evening News, these American boys are playing indoors because they're vacationing in Lebanon, and there are thousands more like them.
Cholesterol. It can come from fettuccine Alfredo, but also from your grandpa Alfredo, from barbecue ribs, and from your Aunt Barbie. A healthy diet is important. When that's not enough, adding Vytorin can help. Cholesterol comes from two sources, food and family. Vytorin treats two sources. Only Vytorin helps block the absorption of cholesterol from food and reduces the cholesterol your body makes naturally based on family history. Vytorin was also proven in clinical studies to lower bad cholesterol more than Lipitor alone. Vytorin is not for everyone, including people with liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Unexplained muscle pain or weakness could be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Vytorin may interact with other medicines or certain foods, increasing your risk of getting this serious side effect. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. So eat right, stay active. But if that's not enough, ask your doctor about adding Vytorin. Two sources of cholesterol. Treat them both with Vytorin.
Excuse me, Dr. Z, a quick question. What have been the benefits of the merger between Daimler-Benz and Chrysler?
Okay, get in. Clearly, we've successfully combined the best in American and German engineering and design.
You might want to slow down just a tad.
For example, the Dodge Charger suspension originated in Germany. Since inventing the 4x4 SUV, we've improved Jeep fuel economy, and we are building a flex fuel Commander and Grand Cherokee. Plus the world's cleanest diesel, not to mention 32 highway miles per gallon with state-of-the-art four-cylinder technology. The result? Better quality, performance, capability, and vehicles like this Chrysler Pacifica with the most safety and security features in its class.
Are you really a doctor?
Any more questions?
No. I'm good.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Get employee pricing plus 0% financing on 2006 Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge vehicles. If not satisfied, simply return it within 30 days.
What's going on? It's Edie's slow-churned light ice cream. Tastes just like regular.
Edie's slow churned. One day, all ice cream will be made this way.
The 9 new Herbal Essences collections. Luscious ingredients, luscious formulas, luscious new looks from the guy across the hall. Herbal Essences. Be luscious.
The violence in the Middle East is being watched with anxiety tonight in Dearborn, Michigan, home to one of this country's largest Arab American communities. Many there are immigrants from Lebanon, and every summer thousands vacation in their homeland or send their American-born children to visit relatives there. Cynthia Bowers has our report.
These are just a few of the faces of the thousands of Dearborn residents who went to Lebanon on vacation and wound up in a war.
I have not yet spoken to anybody that doesn't have somebody over there right now.
It's my sister Noelle. She's there with her 2 young daughters.
7 members of Issam Abbas's family were at the Beirut airport trying to get out when it was bombed. They were trapped, and he was terrified.
Everything, as I said, is escalating so quickly that it doesn't even give you time to breathe, to react to one thing before something else happens.
Sister-in-law Rana relies on the occasional text message from her husband telling her he is still okay, but his words are hardly reassuring.
And he said, well, they just destroyed the area around our house, all the bridges and the roads.
Abed and Mona Hamoud admit they feel helpless. Their young sons are caught up in the conflict.
Put 2 more planes.
Today, a CBS News crew found them holed up in their grandparents' Beirut apartment playing war games while the real thing raged around them.
We heard what I think was fighters going supersonic, or they were bombing the airport again. So we turned on the news, and as usual, the people all wounded, and we saw the fires raging.
Every time I hear on the news bombs going down, I pray to God that it's going to miss them and miss my family.
Dearborn pediatrician Labna Faki spent a trying day caring for other kids while her own 3 sons and husband were fleeing Beirut searching for sanctuary.
So he called them and he said he's in Syria right now?
So while for the first time in days she was able to breathe a sigh of relief.
I mean, this hits home because these are my own, but you know what? And everyone has to stand together.
She knows for every loved one who makes it to safety, there are thousands more still caught in the crossfire. Cynthia Bowers, CBS News, Dearborn, Michigan.
And coming up, Boston's big dig. It took 15 years and billions of your tax dollars to build. It's already falling apart. We investigate next.
Isn't there a meter that lets me test my blood sugar and be on my way?
With no coding and a small sample size, the contour meter from Bayer means testing will fit into your life instead of interrupting it.
Don't I have enough to think about?
Easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
If you've had a heart attack that reduced how well your heart pumps, hear this. Your heart medications may not be enough protection. Coreg is FDA approved to increase your chance of survival when taken over time. Adding Coreg to your current treatment can help prevent another heart attack. Coreg reduces your heart's workload to help it pump better. That should be music to your ears.
Coreg is not for everyone, including people prone to asthma, certain heart rhythm problems, slow heart rate, or liver problems. Once you start Coreg, you should continue as directed by your doctor. Patients who abruptly stop may experience chest pain or an increased risk of heart attack. In some cases, patients may experience dizziness or faintness when starting Coreg. You should avoid driving or hazardous tasks if this occurs.
Ask your doctor if Coreg is right for you. Adding Coreg adds cardio protection.
Chevy Impala SS with active fuel management, which means that a powerful 303 horsepower V8 also gets great highway mileage. Since Impala SS gives you 8 cylinders for power and 4 cylinders for better fuel economy, there's also the security of a 5-star frontal crash test rating. The Impala SS, it's a whole new animal. That's an American revolution.
Do you have lots of stubborn grays? Try new Gray Solution from Nice and Easy. This age defier has an instant pre-treatment that lets you expose the grays so they take maximum color. It's like taking 10 years off. Salon quality Gray Solution, new from Clairol.
Too many politicians sell out their values, lie about what they've done. But now there's a conservative leader we can trust, Ed Bryant. In the Army, he taught constitutional law at West Point. As a U.S. attorney, his team prosecuted powerful politicians, including a judge for sexual assault. And after 9/11, he helped write the anti-terrorist laws that protect us today. Ed Bryant will secure our borders and win the war on terror.
I'm Ed Bryant, and I approve this message.
In the newsroom today, we were trying to find a word to describe Boston's big dig, and the word debacle seemed to fit. The massive highway project that you help pay for with your federal taxes has been plagued by design flaws and leaks, cost overruns, and crumbling concrete that this week killed a motorist. How did all this happen? Here is our chief investigative correspondent, Armin Katayan.
The tunnel connector linking South Boston to Logan Airport, a vital section of the $14 billion 15-year project known as the Big Dig, is now a crime scene, following the death of a young woman killed Monday after 12 tons of concrete came crashing down on her car.
It's something that shouldn't be.
Robert Sarasoli should know for 10 years until 2001 he was the Massachusetts Inspector General. In late 1998, he issued this scathing report zeroing in then on what could well be now the cause of the collapse. Poor design specs, unclear testing procedures, and improperly installed anchor bolts in the roof of the nearby Ted Williams Tunnel.
They must have done the same work, used the same epoxy and the same anchor bolts in the connector that they did in the Ted Williams.
The lead contractor, Bechtel, says the bolts are used industry-wide, and the state agency holding the contracts that describe the work completed in the connector tunnel won't release any information, citing an ongoing criminal investigation. Sarasoli cites a flawed construction scenario, beginning with a concrete drop ceiling inside the tunnel that was attached with thousands of anchor bolts that were too short and poorly mixed epoxy, ending with longer bolts being drilled into the very bars used to reinforce the tunnel itself.
We maintain that that would affect the structural integrity of the tunnel because the rebars are in the cement roof that is part of the tunnel.
Were they listening to you, Bob, do you think?
No, absolutely not. No, I know they weren't listening to me. As a matter of fact, I had people say to me, anchor bolts, what the hell are you doing a report on anchor bolts for? Well, I thought it was a serious issue.
And now so does the state after inspectors found 240 more bolt defects in the connector tunnel alone. Today, Governor Mitt Romney took control over a dig that has already cost U.S. taxpayers more than $8 billion and a mother of three her life. Bob.
Thank you very much, Armin. Crews in Southern California are doing everything they can to prevent two wildfires from merging into one unpredictable superfire. The biggest one has already destroyed 150 homes and buildings and burned 53,000 acres at the edge of the San Bernardino National Forest. It's only half a mile from a smaller fire inside the forest. Coming up next, putting up a statue of a beloved American. Is someone trying to nip it in the bud?
My kids call me the finisher. Finish up in there.
Okay.
Finish your homework?
Yes.
Finish your vegetables. Something I thought I was finished with? Managing my acid reflux disease. I thought it was just bad heartburn, but my doctor said over time, stomach acid was damaging the lining of my esophagus. She prescribed Nexium, said I needed more than heartburn relief. My esophagus needed repair. One prescription Nexium pill a day not only relieves my heartburn, it healed erosions in my esophagus. So I don't just feel better, I am better. And with the Purple Plus program, I get advice on nutrition, exercise, even ways to save on Nexium. My doctor did say headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain could be side effects of Nexium, and other serious stomach conditions may still exist.
Talk to your doctor about the healing purple pill.
I tell him you shouldn't do anything halfway. Let's finish up.
If you're without prescription coverage and can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
I've talked to presidents, prime ministers, celebrities, and sheiks, so I think I know a little something about what makes a good anchor. When Katie Couric begins anchoring our broadcast in September, she will have it covered. Just watch.
Part of you is afraid to treat your menopausal symptoms. Part of you is afraid not to. That's why there's nomenopause.com, the website with information to help you. Because part of you has heard different things about hormone therapy and finds it confusing, while the other part just wants relief. Check out nomenopause.com today. Your whole self will know a whole lot more. nomenopause.com.
Is your relationship in its early years, or are you old pals? Are you close friends in the great indoors, or a family in a full house? Are you living the Purina Catch-Out way of life? Essential nutrition for each life stage or lifestyle, and access to behaviorists, nutritionists, and vets for a happy, healthy life together. Physical, emotional, complete. That's the Purina Catch-Out way of life. Kittens need extra protein for healthy development. Feed them Purina Kitten Chow Nurturing Formula for a healthy way of life.
Lincoln Mercury has some of America's hottest selling new models. And to celebrate, every 2006 Mercury car, SUV, and minivan has the hottest deals of the summer during the Lincoln Mercury Celebration Clearance. Get the 32 MPG Milan, winner of the Best Midsize Car Award. Now lease Milan with 0 first month payment, 0 down, and 0 cash due at $257 a month. miss the Lincoln Mercury celebration clearance.
The school teacher accused of having a sexual relationship with a student was in court today, and what an expert said about her will not surprise you. Story at 6.
Finally tonight, when we want to honor someone in this country, we put up a statue. Presidents like Washington, generals like MacArthur. So why not someone who made his name in law enforcement, like Barney Fife? Here is Steve Hartman with Assignment America.
It's not Mayberry, but it's close. Andy Griffith's hometown of Mount Airy, North Carolina, has a Floyd's Barber, an Opie's candy store, and even a Mayberry country kitchen. The owner, Tom Hellebrand, used to work as a crime scene investigator in Florida. But not long ago, he quit his job and moved his entire family here. Why?
Morning, folks. Morning, Bob.
Because he loves the show that much.
I've seen each episode hundreds of times.
You've got to be kidding.
No.
That's an exaggeration.
No,
please tell me that's an exaggeration.
That's a minimum. I would 1,000 times would not be an exaggeration.
Okay, so he's a little obsessed.
I've always wanted a squad car from the Andy Griffith Show.
But Tom says his obsession is all about honoring the show. That's why, after Don Knotts died earlier this year, he got to thinking. Mount Airy has a bronze statue of Andy and Opie. So why not Barney?
Barney was the Andy Griffith Show. He's the one that made you laugh. He's the one that made you think. You know, I love Barney Fife.
There's certainly no doubting his sincerity. And that's why it really pains me to tell you the rest of this story. See, CBS owns the rights to the Fife character. And after initially giving Tom written permission to hire a sculptor, my beloved network apparently reconsidered, issued a cease and desist order, leaving Barney half finished and Tom half broke.
How much money are you out personally?
Around $10,000.
$10,000. And what's going to happen to the statue?
The statue's going to be destroyed.
CBS is passing the buck on this one, saying it's actually Don Knotts' wife and Andy Griffith himself who insisted the project stop. In turn, spokespeople for those parties say it's CBS who has the rights and only CBS can say no, leaving Tom thoroughly confused, but genuinely hopeful.
This whole thing is like an Andy Griffith episode. It starts out good, it gets really bad in the middle of the show, but at the end of the show it becomes happy and there's a happy ending.
To that end, I called the CBS Public Relations Office. I told them what a shame it would be if I had to end this story saying how CBS is so unsympathetic the network won't even reimburse Tom the money he lost. Needless to say, CBS has now decided to reimburse Tom the money he lost. Assuming I'm still employed here in 2 weeks, my plan is to bring you a special summer vacation with my dad edition of Assignment America. To vote where you want to send us, go to cbsnews.com and click on the Assignment America icon. Dad and I will go wherever you say and report back here 2 weeks from tonight. Bob?
That's the news. Tomorrow night, a special time, 9, 8 Central, a 48 Hours Mystery.
A teenage boy is convicted of killing his parents. 15 years later, these 3 men say he didn't do it, and they know who did. Saturday.
Then on Sunday morning with Anthony Mason, the longest wait, people desperate for life-saving organs. And on Face the Nation, we'll talk to Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice from Russia. I'm Bob Schieffer. We'll see you then.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart. Walmart and Sam's Club pharmacies accept all Medicare prescription drug plans. And at the Walmart price, you get a great value for your prescription dollars.
This is CBS.
An emotional day in the courtroom for a former teacher accused of having sex with one of her teenage students.
And we're learning more about a Bellevue travel agent accused of ripping off several people. Wait till you hear what we found out about the owner of the agency.
And for the most part, we've had hot and dry weather here, but this line of thunderstorms back to the west may give some areas some much-needed rain. Your news begins now.
Live with Sky 5. From your news and information leader,
This is News Channel 5 at 6.
I'm sorry to everyone. I'm sorry to the victim's family. They're here today.
It was an emotional day in the courtroom for Pamela Rogers.
The former teacher accused of having sex with one of her students claims she has an addiction.
Good evening, everyone. Pamela Rogers says she has an addiction to sex.
The former Warren County teacher says that's why she violated her probation. This came out during a hearing today. News Channel 5's Chris Cannon was in the courtroom when the addiction was revealed. Chris, the judge didn't buy that argument, though, did he?
No, he did not, Vicki. He says he just couldn't get past her blatant disregard for the law. The countless times she